Hello guys and welcome to another YouTube video on my channel. So today I'm going to talk about how to fetch data using React.js. So this is an absolute compulsory question for you if you are facing for a beginner React.js developer interview. So you'll be asked to fetch data using an API. So I'm here trying with JSON placeholder public API. Most probably you'll get a similar kind of public API where you have to fetch data you inside a React component. So you can use either fetch API, it's inbuilt, or else if you're familiar with Axios, you can install Axios and do it using Axios. So without further ado, let's get started. So I will be sharing this presentation with you guys, so you can pause this video and try it yourself and check how far you can go in an interview background. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Full Stack Project, and give a thumbs up to this video. So it means a lot to me as a new YouTuber. First of all, guys, let's start by defining our function to fetch data from this JSON placeholder API. So I'll tell that API function as fetch API, and this simple function, but this should be an async function, and the parameter should have a URL, probably it's a string, and also this function is a promise, so don't forget to add this promise type as well. But for the moment I'm going to add it as any. You can explain it to the interview because still we don't know the structure, what's going to come from the response from the API endpoint. So for this moment I am going to add it as any. You can explain it to the interviewer as well, but after looking at the data structure on the response of the API, you can define your promise structure. So let's go with a try catch for the moment, or else we can simply access the URL using the fetch, but I'll go with a try catch. And inside the try block I'm going to access the API using fetch. And here I'm going to fetch this URL, and the most important step, most of the candidates forget, is to convert the response to a JSON like this with an await keyword, and that's how this fetch API works. So it returns a promise, and what you have to do is you have to await the fetch call here, and then you have to convert this into the JSON format. It's also a promise, you have to await for that one also. Then you can return this data from here. And for the moment I'll just console log the error here if there's any errors. And now how we are going to call this fetch API? We are going to call this fetch API in a use effect hook. So here I have did get a use effect hook, and inside the use effect hook I'm going to call this fetch API. And since it returns data for the fetch API, and since this is an async function, you can go to the .then block here and consume this returning data. And if we inspect it, you can see our data is console logged on the console here. So those are the simple steps that you can follow when you fetch data using inside a React application, inside the React component. So you can do this in the interview, and if you would like to use Axios, you can do the Axios steps as well. So let's do that now. Also, the main thing that I have to tell is you don't be afraid to console log the response and debug on the process. You can just do a console.log and see what comes in the response. So you can see this is what comes in the Axios. So you can simply return response dot data. It has the entire array. Now the same thing prints. So that's how you can modify this to work with Axios here. And also in advance, you can change this URL here and see what's going to happen. So you can see it says this, there's an error. So you can handle this error. So in the Axios way, so you can communicate with the interviewer and ask, is there any essential steps, any essentials ways that he's expecting to handle errors, and you can go on with the code execution. So those are the basics. Hope you guys learned a lot or else refreshed yourself a bit, and hope you to meet every one of you with another awesome this kind of React refresher tutorials. So have a nice day guys, and see you soon.